Talk, talk, talk. Why do we poets talk? Why do we waste these words? Why do we speak when we can all talk? And therefore it stands to reason that the old adage must be true. We can all talk, therefore talk is common, therefore talk is cheap. Now we all know the difference between a mouth that is talking and a voice that speaks, but what separates what we have to say from the incessant, banal chatter of the everyday? Well, we've got flow. Now that might sound like a cheap and easy wannabe gangster rap boast, but there's a deeper truth to it. You see, we have opened ourselves up to a process of psychology that is as painstaking, fragile and necessary as this planet's process of hydrology. 96% of all the water in this world through which we walk sloshes aimlessly in seas of saltwater small talk, submerging more than 2/3 of the Earth's surface. Therefore water is common, therefore water is cheap. But for all its abundance, of course, this salt water cannot sustain a human being. For our continued existence, we're reliant on that 4% of fresh water that must be given chance to form and can't be forced or built or bought or spent. Which is pretty fucking lucky given the way that we treat the rest of our natural resources.
Aye.
But nearly 3/4 of all fresh water is locked in the polar ice caps, vast frozen expanses of thought and idea that cannot simply be tapped. And the other quarter is trapped in aquifers and barely accessible groundwater that takes thousands of years to percolate towards streams, just like the back of the Volvic bottle taught you. It comes down to us to eke out that 1% of fresh water thought flow, and what do? We hike to the source. High in the hills and with sodden feet and bleary eyes stoop to trace the tiny channels and rills, follow their pathetic trickles downstream. But as their flow gathers momentum, it murmurs across the rocks, pooling in brief considerations, then speaking in leaps of inspiration. And its voice starts growing clearer as it charges down the hill to where it cuts through the land to form a roaring, storming gill. For we are not heaving tides or rolling waves. Those are just big ripples in the small talk that make their noise and then fade. We are the constant water courses, the angel falls and hard raw forces. The tragedy in this truth is that eventually all fresh water must be returned to the salty sea. But there's consolation in the process's cyclic beauty, for through all these turns, water does not alter chemically. Even saltwater small talk retains its basic structure of H2O, so that one day its essence may evaporate, condense, precipitate, and then flow.